Hey, it's Chesh. Back after a long break. Uh, I'm really sorry about the glare on my tablet here. I forgot to turn off my light when I recorded, which is a big mistake, but you can't see it as much when my hand's in the way, so do forgive that. I'm also sorry about the squeaking in my chair if you hear that. I'm just sorry. Sorry. But yeah, the reason why I took a long break is I've been very sick. Um, couldn't really get out of bed. Been sleeping like 12 hours a day. Basically, I'm still, but I'm doing a little better. I'm very vitamin deficient. Vitamin B, D, and iron. I'm very deficient in those things. And even though I take vitamins, so basically, I feel like I'm falling apart from the bones to my muscles. Like my bones feel like glass, essentially. And they hurt, and my joints hurt. And the only thing that seems to help is the fact that I have a weighted blanket, and I just lay under it, and I guess the pressure of it helps the pain. I'm not exactly sure. But it's also very warm and pressure, so those two things probably help tremendously. I also had big surgery in September. I had a really big surgery. Hopefully the last big surgery that I'll ever need, because I've had several of them due to me having breast cancer. But yeah, that had me on my butt for several months. I couldn't get up by myself. I couldn't sit in a chair very long, and I couldn't bend over, which you do all those things when you draw. So I was in trouble. So I took a long break for that, and then I started feeling the vitamin deficiency, so I took a long break for that. Then I just had straight up art block. You know how it goes. You just sit there and nothing comes to you, and you just don't feel creative or wanting to draw. So, yeah. But I feel very refreshed. I've actually drew, other than this one, two other paintings. You can see them. I did them as a shorts because I didn't record it like this. Because when I record like this, I set up my phone through a clip-on tripod. It's not really a tripod because it's not got the tri things, but you know what I mean. Clips onto my desk, put my phone on it, and it wiggles and stuff as I record. So that's why sometimes you see wiggling in the video. But yeah, we use what we got. I have a camera that I use for vlogging, but to set it up to record my art, I would need a big arm, essentially, and it would be thick and heavy duty, and it would get in the way, and it's really heavy, and I just don't like it. So you'll have to bear with the wiggling for a couple frames, I'm afraid, but it'll be alright. Also, don't think that this is how fast I draw. I know it's not very fast, but also I sped it up some. I draw incredibly slowly, like just snail pace drawing, because I like to take my time. I think this is why I could never do commissions again, because I don't like a hard deadline, and I like drawing in my own time. I may sell prints one day, but that's really far into the future. But yeah, I'm a slow artist, which is okay. I do this for enjoyment, not for anything else. It's really just a hobby for me right now, so I don't really need to draw fast. The only downside is I end up with like a 20 to 30 or maybe even 40-minute drawing video for you guys. I don't know if that's a bad thing or a good thing. I know right now YouTube is kind of pushing longer format videos right now, but my videos never do incredibly well. I guess because I'm a small-time YouTuber and I just started. And it's art. Art isn't incredibly popular on YouTube. It's more of a, I've seen a lot on Twitch. I probably wouldn't do live stream art because I just don't have the fan base for it, and I'd have to set up for it. And I really don't have the mic for it either. Right now I have a really crummy headset mic that's not good. It's really soft, and it's, you can't turn it up any, so I'm going to have to, if I want to stream, I'm going to have to get a mic separate. But I don't really want to stream because when you stream, you're kind of doing it, one, because you want to, but two, it's for money. Like, it's to make money. And right now, that's not my goal. Right now, my goal is just to have fun and get my art out there. So I probably won't do a live stream anytime soon. I may start later in life, but right now this is all I want to do. Because I'd also have to do it regularly to get anywhere. And my brain right now is not in a place where I can do that, essentially. I'm still on chemo meds, and that kind of fuzzies my brain a lot. Like, I'll sit in my chair disassociating for hours, not doing anything, just listening to music. And I can't remember things well. I can't get up and do things well. I also have a fainting disorder, a heart condition, and it makes it very difficult to do things for a long time, just because I get to feeling sick. I just have a whole lot wrong with me, guys. Like, I hit the bad lottery of bad diseases, basically, of my family. I got just about everything you can get bad from my family. And it's something, you know? It's something. But essentially the artwork I'm doing here, I'm saying it's like a pop art style. So I have like two different styles of art that I do. This style where it's all no line work basically and all colors, which I really enjoy because it's very free form. It's very in your face colors. And I really enjoy that. But also I do line art, more American. It has some Japanese influence because when I started doing art, like most artists, I was enamored by anime art. Inuyasha was my first real anime that I watched. Well, I guess Yu-Gi-Oh's technically, Yu-Gi-Oh! Pokemon are technically animes because they come from Japan. So I guess those were technically the first animes that I watched. But the first adult anime that I watched was Inuyasha. So I was heavily inspired by that. I was inspired by Studio Ghibli. I remember watching Kiki's Delivery Service, Spirited Away, and especially Howl's Moving Castle. Howl's Moving Castle has inspired me so heavily. Like, it's the reason why I wanted to do art, because it just so transfixed me and wowed me. Like, I just remember almost crying because I was like, this is art. This is the way it's supposed to be. So beautiful, every frame a masterpiece. But, so I started doing anime art like that. I really don't do that anymore because it's, you know, as you grow up, your tastes change. I still love Howl's Moving Castle. It's still my favorite movie / book. But it's not the art, anime is not the art style that I want to emulate anymore. My art style is really heavily influenced by the pop art side of Japanese art, combined a little bit with American cartoon. So you get these really simplified figures. I'm saying I don't really know what my art style is right now. Like, I bounce from art style to art style. The one thing that stays prevalent is this pop style art that I started, I think like a year or two ago. I started doing art like this. My first real piece that was like this was what I call sad but loved. Basically, I suffer from bipolar depression and bipolarism in general. Now, sometimes I do get so with bipolarism, it comes in waves. For me, there are two sides of a coin. I'm either really happy, energized, I do 1,000 things at a time, get nothing done, or I'm this sad sap of a person who can get nothing done. I want to do nothing. I sit there and cry all day. Granted, this is me without medication. Now, I'm well medicated, and those things don't happen very often. They still happen. There's no cure for it. You just manage it, like most mental illnesses. But anyway, I did a piece sad but loved because at the time I was feeling very depresso, sado. I was a very sad puppy. And, but at the same time, I knew that there were people who loved me and cared for me and who would be there for me. And that really helped. So I drew, it's like a cup. I don't know. I may put it in the video. I may put it on the side here so that you can see it. I don't remember if I did a shorts of it or not. It's on my Instagram, I believe. It's on my Instagram, Cara. I think I have. I'll make sure I have a card up that has my handles on it, or put links in the description below. But yeah, I have an Instagram, Blue Sky, and stuff like that I post on Cara. And it's one of my favorite pieces that I've done. It's not incredibly well done because I did it on an iPad, and I'm not as good on the iPad as I am working with this tablet that you see on screen. This tablet that you see is actually hooked up to my computer, and it's Clipstudio. And the way it's slanted and the bigger screen really helps. I do much better on it than I do my tablet. So I use it more often than not, unless I'm out, and then I use my tablet. But my poor tablet, I mostly use it for watching videos on now. I have an iPad. I got it like 5 years ago, and it's still working really well. So that's actually surprised me. I thought I would have to replace it by now, but it's doing pretty well. So I'm pretty happy with it. Haven't had to change the nib on it because for some reason I've never put a screen protector on my iPad or my phone. I need to do that because I shattered one of my phones accidentally. So, yeah. Now, this painting, I decided to challenge myself a little bit with perspective here. I am using a reference. You should probably always use a reference or references. There are some people who are really against references for some reason, but you can't make good art unless you're referencing the human body, or referencing an animal body, or referencing something like a building, outdoors if you're a landscaper, painter. So like I don't really get the whole thing where they say that, oh, references is cheating. It's not cheating. It's not cheating because you're not tracing it. You're using it to sculpt the body that you want and the way that you want it. Just don't trace it. Don't put it down and trace it. And do nothing to it. You have to make it your own. Anyway, this particular piece is, I call it brainworms, and you'll see why in a few minutes. But essentially this is a piece on how you have those, some people don't have it, but I have those voices in my head that are constantly talking away. Imagination and the voices in your head, the inner monologue, constantly chattering away, constantly different moods, just chatter. They never shut up. And it's a symptom of ADHD, which I do have too. And it's super frustrating. And, you know, when you're trying to get stuff done and you got inner monologue in your head going, you should do this, you should do that, oh, anything but what we're currently doing, it gets real hard to finish pieces. So, yeah, worms in your brain telling you what to do. And I learned that not everyone has an inner monologue, which I found really weird. Like, is it just... I can't imagine your brain being silent. I can't fathom no voices in your head. I can't fathom not having that inner monologue in your head. To me, it's just weird. But I was born this way, so it's just, I'm used to it and nothing else. So it makes sense that maybe I find it weird because I've always had a voice in my head and nothing else. So I'm a cluttered person. My head's cluttered, my space is cluttered. I'm just a cluttered person in general. So yeah, but the strange thing is I'm a cluttered person and I kind of like it to be a little cluttered. I don't like for my art to be cluttered. Like, I don't like a bajillion things going on at once. So if my main thing that I'm drawing, like this character, is complicated and a lot of colors, I don't like for my backgrounds to be overly complicated. I prefer for it to be simple and focused on the character that I'm drawing. So I'm the opposite with my art, which is kind of weird. So yeah, I just draw simplified things because that's what I prefer. Even though, so my imagination manifests in the fact that it's like a movie in my head. I can see images, I can hear sounds and stuff like that, all from my head. It's like a movie going on. And the way I draw is not how it looks in my head. Most of the time with my imagination, which is kind of odd because a lot of people want to draw exactly what their imagination looks like. I don't really want to do that. I don't want to overcomplicate things because, again, I have ADHD. I get easily bored of things. So I need to be able to do things and complete things in one sitting, basically, or I lose interest in it. So this kind of colored, no lines, pop art kind of thing really speaks to me and my ADHD and my monkey brain about doing things, even though I'm really slow drawing, doing things fast and not overcomplicating things. And the colors also soothe my monkey brain. For some reason, I'm really in my blue period. I really love blue bodies with pops of color. I have several of them in blue. I've been trying to get away from that and do other colors, but I really wanted this one in blue with pink. So I did it. Sometimes you just gotta give in to what you want and do exactly what you want to do, even though you've done it 1,000 times, you know? It's all about comfort and finding what you like and doing what you like. Now, that being said, if I was doing commercial work or commission work, I wouldn't be able to do this. I used to do commission work. I didn't earn a living from it. I just did it here and there. And I found it really bad. I didn't like it because I had no creative freedom. I had to do exactly what the other person wanted me to do. And my rebel side of me is like, no, I want to do what I want to do. I want to do this and that and that and this, and I don't want to overcomplicate it, and they want a complicated piece. Everybody always, they want, I don't even think I could do commission work on the current art style I have, because everybody wants like a comic book style or an anime style, and I just don't want to do it. Don't want to do it anymore. It's too time consuming when I've got a million other things I want to do. Like I took up writing recently. Well, not recently. I've been writing for about maybe 2 years. Haven't finished a book. I want to finish a book. I'm not going to talk about the book that I'm writing because, that would take up all the time. But I do that. I'm working on a crochet blanket for a friend of mine, and then I've got another blanket for another friend of mine I'm waiting on the yarn to come. I just have 1,000 projects going on and 1,000 doctor's appointments, so I don't have time to do things that I don't want to do. Every art piece that you see is something that I wanted to do and was crawling in my brain for a while. Usually what I do is I sketch it out on paper first. These particular ones. Now, my other style, I usually sketch directly on Clipstudio because my original sketch, a digital sketch, will never be as good as my original sketch. But these ones, I sketch it out on paper first, so I know the shapes that I want, the pose that I want. And then I go in and I color it all. I usually don't do line work. I just go in, I slap color down. In this case, the pose was a little too difficult to do that in. I had to sit and I had to sketch it, as you saw earlier in the video. I had to sketch it just because the pose is so dynamic that I couldn't do it by myself. I needed a down sketch for it, which hopefully later on I'll get better at sketching things. I'm still, even though I've been doing art since I was little, probably 20 years now I've been doing art. Counting in when I was little, 20 or maybe even 25 years if I want to count in when I was really little, scribbling with crayons. But I'm 30, by the way. I'm not that old. But yeah, since I've been scribbling a wee baboo with crayons, I've been scribbling. For the longest time, I was enamored with watercolor. Because again, I was enamored with Studio Ghibli. And a lot of what they do when they're first drawing it, I don't know if that's how they film it, but a lot of it's watercolor. And possibly wash, I don't know. But I was real enamored with it. So I started off as a traditional artist because I did not have money to buy a program. I did not have a computer that could handle a program. I had a laptop that was really old. I didn't have a heavy-duty computer until I was probably 18 or 19. And I didn't have a tablet to do art with. So I really didn't do digital art until I was probably, I want to say 18 or 19. I really didn't start till then. So I've really just started finding my art style digitally. That being said, I'm not very good at traditional art, even though I've done it probably longer than digital art. I'm so into digital art now that my traditional art has fell to the wayside, so I don't really do that anymore. Recently, I got back into using a sketchbook, which is really nice. I've experimented with crayons a bit, colored pencils, which I don't think I have any of that on YouTube. I have some of it on my Instagram, I think. I'll put a link to some of my socials down below. But I don't know. Traditional takes up a lot of room too, a lot of space when you're wanting to do it. Like, I also like painting with acrylic. But all I have is my desk. And my desk is small. And my computer's there. So anytime I want to paint or sketch or anything like that, I have to clear off my desk. Clear everything off. And stuff like that. And so it just consumes time, takes up a lot of space, is messy, you have to clean up everything. Whereas digital art, you just plunk down your tablet, turn on your computer, and you're ready to go. Unless I'm recording, and then I have to set up my phone, which is tedious. But, you know, I do it for you guys. But now you're starting to see the worms in the picture, eh? Yeah, those are the voices in my head. They speak to me. Not really. I'm not insane, even though I'm bipolar. So I just wanted to come on here and talk to you guys for a little bit, because it has been a while since I've been. Usually I don't talk in these videos. Usually I just have text. So if you like me talking and you actually watch the entire video, give me a like and comment down below if you want more like this, and subscribe. And I will see you guys on another sketch day. Bye bye.